Hello everyone and welcome back to Send It's Weather channel, and here's your second video today. Well, I thought, we might as well do a bonus video. You might notice a different shirt as well, but I thought, why not have a bit of fun today and have a look at a little bit of a winter look ahead. Now, of course, I've made a winter forecast, but I wanted to have a look at the longer range prospects for the winter, just to see if we can find any trends or anomalies. Obviously, the weather at the moment is a little bit meh. For some of us, especially with this dull grey and drizzly weather around. Obviously, there's a storm at the weekend into the other part of next week. But why not have a look at a little bit of winter? So I'm going to start. I know this isn't winter, and I know some of you will say, why are you looking so far ahead? Why not? So if you enjoy this sort of video, and I'll upload what I want, it's my channel, alright, buddy? But anyway, yeah, if you do enjoy this sort of content, please leave a like on this video and leave a comment letting me know what you think about this film. Obviously, if it gets a lot of support, we'll do it again. I really enjoy making these sort of videos. Don't know why. But as you'll see, as we're starting off on the 1st of November, we've got an area of low pressure pushing in. High pressures to our west. Winds are in for the north from the east, but for the south, it's from a west-southwesterly direction. It looks pretty mild, wet and windy. Now, as that low pressure moves to our east, winds turn into more of a northeasterly for a transient ridge in the Atlantic. And look at that. James, you'll be getting happy up there. -5 isotherm. Might be a few wintry showers. But no, it's probably quite dry because there's a ridge building through the country. And here we go into the first week of November. High pressure is doing its usual thing. Building to our east and southeast. Winds are in from a southerly direction. And there you go. There's a bloody blocking low out to the west. And it looks very mild for this start, well, the second week of November. Going beyond that, high pressure just kind of maintains out to our west. Beyond that, high pressure kind of topples through the country. Winds are in from the west, northwest. So, transient, cooler and milder sectors. Looks quite mild on the whole, let's be honest. Going into the third week, we've got low pressure sat to the north, high pressure to the south. Slider low through the country on the 20th. Winds are in from oh dearie me, what's he done there? Pressed the wrong button. Winds are in from the west, northwest. It looks pretty mild, let's be honest. High pressure sat to our south over Spain. Low pressures to our north, just to the south of Greenland. Winds are in from a westerly direction. It looks like a typical wind pattern, very mild to be honest. Going into the end of November, high pressure tries to build towards Scandinavia. Again, low pressure is way too strong in the Atlantic. Looks really powered up by the jet. Jet stream looks really powered up, bringing in these areas of low pressure. And it looks very stormy, particularly in the north. Could be a few named storms here. Look at that on the 30th of November. An absolute windstorm in the west there, affecting Northern Ireland if that was to come off. But of course, we are looking 3.5 months away, As we get into the start of December, though, you can see blocking towards Scandinavia. There you go again. We're not messing with that again. Low pressures to our west. Winds in from the southwest. It looks pretty mild, doesn't it? Again, yeah, pretty mild, same pretty mild. Until around the first week of December, if transient ridge in the Atlantic, you can just see high pressure just centred to our west, winds in from a northerly direction, but again, no cold air because of all that mild weather we've just seen, and it's just transient, maybe a couple of wintry flurries in the north. High pressure again, building again, back in. Bringing in the milder weather again. Sits over just to our south on the 13th, actually building northwards just to the south of the country. Winds are in from a south-southerly direction. Again, turning things milder again. Transient northerly there, but that's just around that area of high pressure. So, same pretty dry, oh my word. This looks like an anticyclonic December. Probably pretty cold under that area of high pressure, though, if it was to stick around for long enough. See the cold plunge going into many parts of Eastern Europe there? Oh, and look where we are. On the mild side, look at that. Cold plunge, if that was true, verified. Cold plunge into Eastern Europe, and we're on the mild side. What a surprise. Christmas Day, high pressure sat to the south. Low winds are in from a southwesterly direction. There you go. You want your mild weather? There you go. Pretty mild Christmas Day. Going beyond that, though, you can see more interest. Rest of December looks pretty boring, I must say, in terms of weather terms. Not saying it's boring for forecasting, but looks pretty nothing happening, really. Looks very dry and drab. Run up from Christmas to New Year. Looks quite drab. But look at this, into the start of January. High pressure then begins to move to our northeast. And look, there's a cold air mass just sat to our east. Ooh, look at that blues. Hello. Makes its arrival on the 4th of January. Pretty interesting that day. Anyway, I'm not getting to that today. High pressure's moving towards Scandinavia. Winds are in from a easterly direction. And there you go. The -10 isotherm pushing through the country. And that turns us into a bit of a cold, or very cold spell actually. Got high pressure centre just to our north and east, winds in from the northeast, bringing in plenty of snow showers to the south and the east if this were to come off, and also to the north as well. First snowfall for many, and also low pressure's trying to push in from the Atlantic, but this blocking to our north is forcing it away, and we have a battleground scenario there. Which obviously could produce a lot of snowfall on its leading edge, but I wouldn't get too excited about that. It's so far away. But again, high pressure then begins to build over just to the north of the country. Winds are in from the east, but we're losing that cold pool to our eastern heights. Just try and build back over the top of the country. Like this scenario here looks very similar. If you remember a couple of years ago, was it last year? I can't remember. There was an area of high pressure just sat to our north. There was an easterly, which brought in that snow event to the south. And then high pressure tried to retrograde northwards. I don't know if anyone remembers that. It actually did retrograde northwards, if you remember. And we pulled in that cold northerly wind. I don't know if anyone at all remembers that spell. Can't remember what year it was. But yeah, that tried to happen. On this run as normal, the high pressure tries to get northwards, too much energy of the Atlantic, and it topples, and we finish off looking pretty mild. So, yeah, it's an interesting run, you could say, at the end, but mostly looking like a typical winter for the UK, especially the start. If we look out the midnight run, see how that compares, well, it's pretty much the same, really. Brief cooler interludes, colder interludes, like the first week of December on the Sunday the 7th. Can see that low pressure clears to the east, high pressure's in the Atlantic. Winds to a brief northerly, probably showers possible in the north and the east, but everywhere else pretty dry. And then them southerly winds looks very strong. Actually, a strong signal from these updates for a southerly wind, southerly southeasterly wind into the second to third week of December, bringing in very mild temperatures. But you can see into the Christmas time. With this run, high pressure then goes properly into the Atlantic, and really, the polar vortex kind of collapses southwards. That is a very extreme run. High pressure up to our west, winds in from a northerly direction on the 22nd, bringing down the -5 line, the -10 line through the country. That would be pretty extreme run. And then Christmas Day, that could be an interesting one. Got the cold air just slide into our east, low pressure trying to force itself in. That could be a proper snowmaker, particularly in the north and the east. If it was to come off. But yeah, beyond that again, mild, wet and windy. So very similar trends from these runs. Although this CFS run, the 20 around the third week of December, actually does look quite interesting for any cold lovers out there. For midnight run, but the 6 head looks pretty drab for December, I must say. January then there's some interest, but yeah, December looks like a bit of a no-show, if these models are correct. Of course, it's experimental and a bit of fun, so obviously take everything with a massive pinch of salt. Is it going to happen? Probably not. So there you go. Thought it'd be something interesting and a little bit different from the normal content. Thank you all very much for tuning in to today's video. And again, if you do want to see more of this sort of content, then consider leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and let me know in the comments. Why not, you know? And if you want to support me personally, you can join the Discord server, link down below, where we chat all things Send It. You can also buy me a coffee if you want, or donate to PayPal, or donate a super chat. I'm not forcing you. Thank you all very much for watching today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.